You might be surprised to learn that improperly warming food can subtly compromise your well-being, especially as you advance in age, without your conscious awareness. It can hinder nutrient absorption, elevate systemic inflammation, and even affect your cognitive sharpness and physical balance. Journals such as the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have published research on the long-term impacts of specific rewarmed items on older adults, corroborating these risks. Reheating leftover meals may initially seem innocuous, but when you do so, several common foods either lose their nutritional value or morph into compounds that silently burden your joints. Blood sugar, or cardiovascular system, vital systems necessary for preserving your physical autonomy and vigor. After the age of 65, this segment will identify which foods seniors should never rewarm and, conversely, which ones actually become more nourishing when reheated correctly. And if you stay with me until the conclusion, I will disclose a prevalent dish that could be consistently undermining your health with every push-in. Let us commence by examining the foods you should be rewarming, as their proper preparation can enhance your daily cognitive function, energy levels, and movement. Before we proceed, I encourage you to click the notification icon and support our efforts if you haven't yet, so you don't miss any future customized health counsel. If you find value in this video, please signal your approval in the comments by typing 1. If not, type 0 to indicate how I can improve the content for you to gain maximum nutritional benefit. Seniors should rewarm these 3 items that should be reheated. 1. Porridge oatmeal. Gentle embrace for the stomach and the mind. The morning hours often hold a quiet power for seniors entering their later years, a moment to initiate the day with calmness and intention. A bowl of warm porridge embodies this spirit beautifully. However, many are unaware that rewarming oats can actually amplify their benefits rather than diminish them, especially for the maturing body that requires sustenance without induced stress. A unique transformation occurs when oats are initially prepared and subsequently cooled. The starches undergo a structural change, developing a carbohydrate known as resistant starch, which is indigestible by the small intestine. When the porridge is reheated, these resistant starches remain intact, continuing to nourish beneficial gut bacteria, thereby fortifying digestion, improving blood glucose control, and reducing inflammation throughout the body. The advantage extends beyond mere science. It is profoundly practical for those over 65. As we age, digestion often decelerates, and blood sugar levels become less predictable. Rewarmed porridge delivers a steady, low glycemic energy source by releasing energy gradually. Rather than abruptly, it stabilizes mental focus and mood, maintaining satiety for extended periods. The benefits run deeper still. Porridge contains beta-glucan, a soluble fiber recognized for reducing detrimental LDL bad cholesterol, thereby supporting cardiovascular function for older adults managing circulatory risks. This modest daily routine evolves into a quiet act of preventative care. Furthermore, in contrast to numerous breakfast options loaded with saturated fats or added sugars, porridge is naturally mild, gentle on the digestive tract, and incredibly versatile. The addition of fresh berries, chopped nuts, or a dash of spice not only enhances the flavor, but also introduces powerful antioxidants, which are the body's intrinsic defenses against cellular aging. On a more emotional level, the heat of rewarmed oats provides genuine solace. It is a familiar, simple, and metaphorically grounding item on chilly mornings when feeling depleted. It is more than just a meal. It is a supportive affirmation that even minor habits can forge a healthier day and a more robust life. A tender gesture of self-care. This reality is often overlooked. Few warm dishes offer such comprehensive rewards, but porridge fortifies the body from the inside out. Some seemingly comforting foods, when rewarmed, can become subtly toxic, creating issues that transcend simple digestion. They can compromise your joints, nerves, and long-term vitality. What is the next food that benefits from rewarming? A dish that strengthens your immune system and reinforces your skeletal structure with every spoonful. The solution may already be simmering in your refrigeration unit. Poised for a restorative and meaningful transformation, please signify your continued interest by commenting below if you are still engaged and finding these revelations useful. Let's proceed to the second point. 2. Garden vegetable broth soup, a gentle palliative for the soul, joints, and immune system during the quiet late afternoon. When the body begins to sense the cumulative effect of years and the sunlight softens through the windows, a hot bowl of garden vegetable broth offers a profoundly restorative effect. It is not merely comfort food, it is ancestral wisdom poured into a vessel. For older adults, particularly those navigating the complexities of an aging physique, rewarming vegetable soup is more than just practical. It is a process that gradually enhances the concentration and richness of essential nutrients, in contrast to many highly processed meals. A homemade vegetable broth actually becomes more nutrient-dense the following day. Why? Because the fibrous cell walls of robust vegetables such as celery, carrots, sweet potatoes, leafy greens, and onions begin to break down during the gentle simmering and subsequent cooling period, releasing beneficial plant compounds and minerals that were not fully liberated during the initial cooking. When reheated, the soup transforms into a concentrated source of hydration, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, so critically important for the older population. Age-related decline in immune function leaves the body more vulnerable to inflammatory responses, respiratory illnesses, and joint stiffness. However, a properly rewarmed vegetable broth serves as a calming shield, especially if infused with turmeric, garlic, or fresh parsley. The warmth promotes circulation, gradually dilating blood vessels and alleviating cold extremities, while the anti-inflammatory agents initiate their subtle process of internally soothing the body. For individuals experiencing reduced appetite, a common concern among seniors, particularly when eating feels tedious, broth is an easily digestible, approachable meal that does not overburden the senses. Its warmth and gentle texture provide sustenance without requiring effort, supporting the maintenance of nutritional intake, hydration, and strength. We must also consider the emotional nourishment. A broth meticulously prepared and thoughtfully rewarmed evokes memories of earlier kitchens, simpler times when food was more than mere fuel, and familial gatherings. Every spoonful represents a return to a secure and familiar experience, a moment away from external demands to engage in basic self-care. Additionally, broth offers a means to incorporate mineral-rich vegetables and medicinal herbs without the necessity of heavy fats or harsh spices, which benefits anyone managing poor digestion, high blood pressure, or arthritis. It is a kind, nurturing, and flexible food that adapts to the body's evolving needs. But what if we told you that the common grain often served alongside your bowl of broth can, when correctly rewarmed, be quietly strengthening your cardiovascular system and bones? The next food, too often disregarded by seniors, can be your strongest ally in the effort against frailty when rewarmed appropriately. 3. Whole grain brown rice. A subtle foundation for endurance, cardiovascular wellness, and strength. Simple, stable, and unassuming dishes contain a unique wisdom among these. Brown rice is modest and frequently overshadowed by more flavorful creations. However, when gently rewarmed, this plain grain can provide something far more significant than just taste to seniors. Its slow-releasing energy, structure, and stability support every autonomous moment, every heartbeat, and every step. And like refined white rice, brown rice retains the bran and germ layers, which are natural sources of fiber, B vitamins, selenium, and magnesium, nutrients critically required by the aging body. Similar to porridge, brown rice develops resistant starch after it is initially cooked and then cooled. The key, however, lies in the subsequent step, reheating it correctly, either by gently steaming or warming with a little water. Makes these complex carbohydrates easy to digest and ensures energy is released gradually without taxing the pancreas or causing blood sugar spikes. This is a crucial detail for older individuals managing slow digestion, type 2 diabetes, or heart conditions. Rewarmed brown rice helps maintain consistent energy levels throughout the day, preventing the sudden dips and fatigue that so frequently detract from daily activities. Furthermore, it supports the gut microbiome by feeding beneficial bacteria, which regulate mood, immunity, and inflammation. Magnesium, which is abundant in brown rice and often deficient in older adults, is essential for regulating blood pressure, nerve function, and muscle relaxation. It is particularly important during the night when leg spasms and restlessness can interfere with sleep. With every warm serving, rewarmed rice becomes more than just nourishment. It transforms into a method of internally stabilizing, fortifying, and calming the aging physical system. Beyond convenience, rewarming leftover rice holds sentimental value. It is linked to family, coziness, and the scent of home. It is a return to a rhythm, a small kindness that assures the body it is still valued, strong, and progressing. Best of all, brown rice integrates easily into the senior kitchen. Paired with soft vegetables, lentils, or a drizzle of olive oil, it becomes a remarkably filling, nutrient-dense, and easily digestible meal. It serves as a literal and metaphorical cornerstone for healthy aging, a reliable, flexible staple for those who find elaborate meal preparation challenging. While brown rice steadily builds our energy reserves, not all rewarmed foods have the same outcome. In reality, some beloved items may turn into subtle antagonists when reheated, compromising the very organs they once soothed. What if the meal you microwave next time is quietly compromising your memory, heart, and nerves? What you are about to discover might permanently alter your perspective on leftovers. Items seniors should never reheat. 1. Pre-cooked mushrooms, the unseen danger lurking beneath the surface. Mushrooms are a grounding, earthy food, connecting us to the natural world. Many seniors perceive mushrooms as a healthy option because they are high in antioxidants, low in fat, and gentle on the stomach when consumed freshly prepared. However, a lesser-known truth is hidden beneath their soft texture. Reheating previously cooked mushrooms can subtly spoil an otherwise nutritious meal, especially as the body becomes more fragile with advancing age. The complex amino acids and proteins within mushrooms are beneficial when fresh, but they are also delicate and susceptible to change when subjected to heat. During the initial cooking of mushrooms, these proteins structurally transform, making them easier to digest. However, when cooled and then rewarmed, the same proteins may undergo a second denaturation, changing into compounds that the body may struggle to process efficiently. A younger person might not notice this. However, in older adults who possess reduced digestive enzymes and heightened gut sensitivity, this can trigger discomfort, bloating, or even nausea. The true threat is often what we do not feel immediately. When mushrooms are sautéed in oil or butter and then held at room temperature for an extended period, bacteria such as Clostridium botulinum or Listeria can silently proliferate. If they are stored improperly or rewarmed at insufficient temperatures, the damage from these bacteria can begin subtly, upsetting the digestive tract or even harming the nervous system in susceptible older adults. The Symptoms are not always immediately obvious. This seemingly minor error might not instantly result in sickness or discomfort. However, the effect is cumulative. It could manifest as prolonged indigestion, persistent exhaustion, or an afternoon characterized by discomfort rather than serenity. It may even surface as a compromised immunological response at a time of life when every bit of strength is precious. Moreover, a large portion of the nutritional content of mushrooms is lost upon rewarming. The antioxidants that once supported your immune system degrade, offering minimal defense against the inflammation and oxidative stress that inevitably increase with age. The resulting food tastes familiar, but it no longer satisfies your bodily requirements. Reheating mushrooms may appear to be a harmless convenience in a society that values ease. However, for seniors committed to preserving their physical health, memory, and mobility, it is a habit worth abandoning. Let mushrooms be a treasure to be enjoyed at their peak, rather than a leftover that lingers too long on the stove or in the microwave. But what about another kitchen favorite, something often perceived as vibrant, crisp, and benign? What if a seemingly harmless vegetable were quietly fostering joint inflammation and disrupting the stability of your movement? The answer might surprise you. Please signal your continued engagement by commenting below if you are still with me and finding these revelations helpful. Let us now examine the second point. 2. Cooked eggs, the subtle transformation from nourishment to detriment. Eggs are widely considered one of the most complete and healthiest foods available. They symbolize nourishment, harmony, and simplicity, a familiar morning staple from previous generations. Eggs provide seniors with high-quality protein and essential nutrients like choline, crucial for brain health, and vitamin D, critical for skeletal strength. However, a lesser-known fact exists here. Eggs undergo an unfavorable change in character when they are rewarmed. Eggs are remarkably nourishing, easily digestible, and safe when prepared for the first time. Yet, once they are cooled and stored, even briefly overnight, their proteins begin to reorganize in ways that are not necessarily advantageous for the aging digestive system. When cooked eggs are rewarmed, especially in a high-heat skillet or a microwave, their proteins solidify and rearrange. This makes them significantly tougher to digest, increasing the probability of discomfort, bloating, or indigestion in older individuals. More concerning is the generation of potentially harmful compounds. Reheating eggs, especially those scrambled or fried with oils, can cause the cholesterol and fats to oxidize, creating compounds that exacerbate inflammation and arterial damage. These are not merely theoretical threats, they are biological facts. Particularly for seniors already managing high cholesterol, heart conditions, or hypertension, the consequence may not always be instantaneous. It could manifest as a lingering sluggishness that slows movement, a groggy feeling that persists throughout the day, or a mental fog that hinders clear thought. Over time, the toll accumulates. The well-meaning habit of rewarming day-old eggs silently contributes to rising cholesterol, low-grade inflammation, and a stressed digestive system. It is a minor, seemingly harmless act. Yet, rewarming eggs is an unnecessary burden on a body that has earned the right to gentleness. Nutrients once intended to safeguard your brain and fortify your muscles may work against you if treated carelessly after cooking. There are safer ways to enjoy eggs. Consume them freshly prepared and while still warm. When poached or boiled, they offer remarkable health benefits, but resist the compulsion to save them for later. What appears to be convenience can subtly diminish your vitality, meal by meal. But eggs are not the only comfort food with unintended consequences. Another item, arguably the most prevalent in homes, carries even greater risk when reheated. It may feel like an old familiar comfort, soft, warm, and comforting. However, beneath its golden surface lies a metabolic trap that can weaken your legs, slow your heart, and compromise your mental clarity. You will want to know the truth before taking another mouthful. 3. White potatoes, the comfort food that quietly betrays. For many senior citizens, white potatoes evoke powerful memories, family meals, holiday dinners, and weekend gatherings where mashed potatoes were lovingly served. They are familiar, comforting, and deeply interwoven with the culture. However, rewarming white potatoes can transform a cherished comfort food into a silent hazard for older individuals, particularly those focused on preserving their balance, circulation, and heart health. Freshly cooked white potatoes already possess a high glycemic index. This means they convert rapidly into sugars, causing sharp spikes in blood glucose levels. However, when they are cooked, cooled, and then reheated, especially when prepared with cream, wool, or butter, their starch structure undergoes alterations. This change can exacerbate inflammatory responses that affect the blood vessels, nerves, and even the brain, potentially worsening insulin resistance instead of aiding the body. Seniors are particularly vulnerable because aging naturally reduces the body's sensitivity to blood sugar fluctuations. Rewarmed potatoes can result in post-meal tiredness and sensations of tingling in the feet and legs, in addition to contributing to chronic inflammation, which has been linked to everything from cognitive decline to joint stiffness. Many seniors also rewarm potato-based dishes in plastic containers, unaware that high heat can leach hazardous chemicals like bisphenol or BPA into the food substances known to disrupt heart health and hormone balance. The result: an otherwise innocuous plate of leftovers may be causing more harm than good. You incur small but significant cost. You might feel more exhausted after lunch, unaware that the reheated potatoes contributed to your energy crash. You might experience increased knee stiffness or tingling in your feet and wrongly attribute it to aging, failing to recognize the true source on your plate. These small daily events accumulate over time: slower recovery from illness or trauma, reduced muscle coordination, elevated blood pressure, and diminished circulation. More disappointingly, white potatoes offer little defense, unlike other vibrant root vegetables or sweet potatoes. They lack the antioxidants that could counteract their negative effects. They satisfy hunger, but they do not fortify the body. They appease the palate while subtly straining the systems that older adults must vigorously protect. Tradition and warmth are appealing, but as we age, we must learn to distinguish between emotional comfort and dietary safety. Make an informed choice. Allow potatoes to remain a part of your history, not your recovery plan. The larger truth that not everything in your refrigerator deserves a second chance becomes clear as we consider these subtle threats hidden in our leftover meals. So, how can seniors make better eating decisions to reclaim their energy, independence, and meals? The solution begins with small, caring steps toward awareness. Rather than fear, every meal represents a decision. Honor your health, one mouthful at a time. The choices we make at the table assume increasing importance as we age. Reheating food may seem like a trivial daily chore, but for seniors, it can subtly influence our health, vitality, and physical autonomy. Understanding which meals should not be rewarmed and which ones, when properly heated, can boost your well-being, goes beyond basic dietary advice. It is a form of self-respect. In fact, healthy aging does not require radical, dramatic changes. It rises from small, consistent choices: how we respect our digestive system, how we treat our leftovers, and how we safeguard the health of our legs, heart, and brain with every meal. Reheating nourishing foods like warm porridge, hearty broths, or whole grain brown rice does more than just sate your appetite. It signals to your body that you still value and care for your life. Furthermore, when you relinquish detrimental habits like rewarming eggs, white potatoes, or mushrooms, you move closer to freedom. Freedom from preventable health issues, discomfort, and exhaustion that frequently rob later years of their joy. Convenience may carry a small but lasting cost, yet awareness grants an even greater reward: improved mental clarity, stronger movement, enhanced digestion, and perhaps most importantly, a sense of command over your personal well-being, irrespective of your age. Therefore, when you open your refrigerator tomorrow, remember that not every item on your plate warrants a second chance. Select the foods that will truly nourish you, reheat intentionally, and celebrate this period of life with the quiet strength that originates from knowledge, not impulse. Because ultimately, every warm meal is more than just comfort. It is a commitment to protect your future, one bite at a time. These lessons are intended to inspire you to live your most authentic and fullest life. I would sincerely appreciate hearing from you now. Pause for a moment and share one piece of knowledge you've gained that you intend to implement in your own life. Let us support one another on this journey of accepting these realities. If you found this video beneficial, please comment with the number 1. If not, feel free to use 0 in your comment. Your perspectives are extremely valuable to us. Remember to share, like, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for viewing, and here is to living life on your own terms.